questions from like the viewers. Okay, so let's do this. I guess we can ask everyone this question, just very short. It says, what can white LGBTQ people do to further support Black trans women?
Stop asking Black trans people to do that work for you and do the research on your own. I think that that's the biggest thing that, you know, allies can do for us. There are so many resources. Trans people have overextended ourselves for the last 2 years at least to come up with Google Docs, to come up with documentaries, to come up with articles. We have written, we have made videos. Netflix has supported those things. And at this point, I think that it's important and it's imperative that you all do and hold yourself accountable for doing the research and coming to Black trans people with more so confirmation conversations. I am always more pleased when someone comes to me and says like, hey, Hope, I've read this. And so how do you feel about these things? Or do you find them to be true for you? Or do you find them to be true for the majority of people that you hang around? Versus somebody coming to me and begging me to give them, you know, what is readily available. And 9 times out of 10, when I don't know something, the very thing that I do is Google. And so the least you could do is empower yourself in that way and embolden yourself in that way as a white ally first, before asking, you know, especially trans women of color and Black trans women to overextend ourselves. And especially in times of turmoil. Right now, being a Black trans woman is not just about the turmoil of being trans, but we have men being hung from trees. We have women being shot while they're asleep. We have police that are beating us up left and right and don't care what we identify as. And so I think that having grace and extending grace in this time of need, while you're searching for that information and while you're trying to empower yourself is important. And I think my last point is to make sure that when you're giving your funds and when you're allowing your access and when you're giving your resources out, that you do the research. A lot of you all are giving resources and money and access to people who only claim to love us on the surface and then don't use those things to actually allocate and advocate for our communities. So, it's imperative that while you're trying to do the best that you can do as an ally, that you do your research on both fronts. And if you have nowhere else to give that, then look for the people that you're actually following. Ashley has a resource. Angelica Ross has a resource. India Moore has given resources. I have given resources. And so I think that before you jump out of the window to give to these large organizations who in large part don't give a shit about us, you know, make sure that you're doing the research to make sure that that money and those funds and that access comes back where it needs to go.
Okay, Ashley, I see you hooping and hollering, girl. What you got to say?
Lord, hope, sister hope. Oh my God. Okay. So basically, I've done some live streams. I've done one with Colton Haynes. I'm about to do one with Brandon Flynn, and Jonathan Van Ness and I are doing a fireside chat for New York City Pride. So stay tuned for that on that very issue. And also, I would just want to say, try to resist the urge to use your sexuality as a shield to absolve you from the social responsibility of dismantling systems of anti-Blackness, transphobia, and sexism. I think that when we're talking about the experiences of Black trans women, we're not saying that you've never had to struggle. We're just saying that those struggles have never been because of your race or your gender. The other piece to that is open doors for us, give us opportunities. I know a lot of gay white men, and this is why I love Brad Hammer, one of our mutual friends. You know, we love the white gays who actually use their platforms to help Black trans women and those who are underrepresented and marginalized. Many of you have been complicit in anti-Blackness because, as I've said before, a beneficiary of genocide and slavery is anyone who gets to lick up the crumbs that fall from white supremacy's table in exchange for their cooperation. So don't think that because you're in some of these high spaces and that people know your name and that you're hanging out with celebrities and you get to sit next to Naomi and all this other stuff, that you are going to be protected by that. Because when the rubber meets the road, Black trans women and femmes have always been on the front lines fighting for our liberation. And if you don't help us today, you will need us tomorrow. And you know, those things are important. And lastly, just keeping it short, another way that you can be an ally is, to Hope's point, not only read our works, purchase our works. We have a lot of amazing Black academics and authors and educators and public speakers. And yes, let's get that book promotion. You know, we're out here putting out the work because really it's not our job to dismantle a system that we didn't build. And so think about the ways that you and other white LGBTQ people can help decolonize a lot of these spaces. And yeah, that's really it.
Okay, now when is this Ashley Marie Preston book coming out for 2020?
Yes.
I think we're ready to hear from you. You know what I mean? We need to hear more about this and take it on road actually and our and take it to Palm Springs with us and sit by the pool and get a word from the Reverend. So I'll speak that over your life right now. We get a new book from Ashley Marie Preston in 2021. Yes. Anybody else have any last words?
Those were bomb.
Oh. Oh no, I was actually just gonna say, you know, to our white LGBTQ folks or whatever, you know, don't be the voice. Amplify our voices. I just really think that with this whole J.K. Rowling thing, I think it was so great for Daniel Radcliffe to come out and say trans women are women. But if somebody like me says it, you know, it doesn't get that much media attention. And the thing is, you know, you become part of the problem when you are trying to be the voice and not amplifying our voices. You know, you have a responsibility. I understand the media can get things misconstrued, but you also have a responsibility to say, hey, you know, I'm not a voice. Let me amplify my sister Ashley's voice. Let me amplify my sister Hope's voice. Like, let's do it like that. See, you got to be more of the accomplice. We got to stop using the word allies, to be honest with you, because anybody can say they're an ally. Anybody can say they're an ally and their actions don't meet with their words. But when you're an accomplice, you never have to question someone's loyalty. Let me remind you, we're in the new Jim Crow. Okay, let me be very clear. We're in the new Jim Crow right now, where lynching has now found a new way to hit us. Once upon a time, it used to be a noose around my neck. Now it's your knee on my neck and I can't breathe. We're having to have separate protests because some of us don't feel included in this and in that. Is that not separate but equal? Is that not different than colored people going to the restroom here and white people going here? We have not left Jim Crow. And what we need from some of our white LGBTQ folks is to stop oppressing us. Stop it. It's time to quit that. We have to break away from that system, and we got to be willing to change the system. And that's all I have.
My last note with that, it piggybacks on that. You've got to diversify your friend groups. If you got a picture by the pool with 27 white ab gays and y'all are all in the same skin tone round, honey, there's something wrong with you. You're part of the problem. You're literally part of the problem. And I've never let that shit slide because one, I'm not invited to those parties because, you know, duh. But, yeah. But when they post them so proudly, like, and I'm sorry, I'm calling y'all out, but you post those pictures so proudly with your non-diverse friend group and you're like, look at us. I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about? Like, you just see all those white guys in a row.
Yes, and we're just because you have that one black friend does not mean you're not anti-black.
Girl. And that's on period. That's it.
I think the final thing that I do want to add to keeping it short is that say something, because I see so much abuse of Black trans women on social media and even people's comment threads that are friends. And you have to stop infantilizing the problematic ass behavior of your friends, because the only way that we can dismantle white supremacy is if we stop offering it room, bed, and board. You have to call it out. You have to put your social capital on the line, because there's this misunderstanding that being an ally or an accomplice is supposed to be convenient, or it's supposed to be comfortable, or it's supposed to come with a rewards card, or it's supposed to come with, you know, extra followers or pats on the back, or, you know, a podcast deal or any of that. You're supposed to do it because it's the right thing to do. And eventually, if you do not dismantle systems of anti-Blackness and transphobia, it will meet you at your doorstep bright and early. And there will be no more people to fight for you, because let's be very clear, we carry this entire movement on our backs. And before we take it back, we'll add more to it.
Yes, and we can go on and on about this because, like I said, the fight is not done. And like Ashley said, we are ready for the fight. So So I would love for everybody who's watching to stay in contact with you ladies. So where can we find you on social media and websites? And go ahead and go down the line with that. So we'll start with Ashley and work our way back.
You can find me Ashley ASHLEE Marie Preston on Instagram, Ashley M Preston on Twitter, and Ashley Marie Preston on Facebook. I have a public profile. Or URCentral, contact at urcentral.org if you want to figure out how to get help for your org.
All right, Arise.
You can find me at Aristocrat on all platforms from Tumblr, Twitter to Instagram. And then my Facebook, my public profile is Arise Wanzer, my first and last name. And that's it. And I answer all of my messages, by the way. Like, I'm not one of those people. I answer every single one of my messages. Unless you're a troll, then you're getting blocked. But because those are running rampant now. Like, yo, people are feeling real comfortable to get racist. It's crazy. Real bold. They're getting bold, but you are getting blocked. So don't even waste your time. So I'm just saying, if you want to reach me, you can go in my inbox and I will talk to you.
Thank you. Hope?
So you can literally find all of my information if you go to hopegiselle.com. And there is a tab there that will lead you to all of my social links. But if you don't want to do that, then literally Google my name, because like I don't want to have to try to spell disguise, but if you Google it, all of my stuff just kind of pops up if you don't want to go to the website.
And Blossom.
All right. Blossom C. Brown, all social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Also on Instagram, follow me at Tell All Blossom, which is my tarot Instagram page.
All righty. Well, thank you ladies so much for staying here and talking about it. Like I said, we have way more fight to do. And this is like the perfect panel. All of you ladies have the answers that we need to turn to look to make a better tomorrow. So each of you make me smile. Y'all make me happy. We had a great time. And coronavirus is real. So continue to stay safe and wash your hands and wear your face mask because we need you in this world. And I thank you so much. Okay.
And let's thank our lovely hostess, Jayla.
Thank you,
Right?
Jayla.
Thank you, beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you for coming to my slumber party. Okay. And you guys, thank you to Impulse Los Angeles for holding this conversation. And I'm so glad that this got pushed back because it was the perfect timing for this. And with all of this happening, like, God works in mysterious ways. So they brought us together to make sure that we do spread the message and get this way beyond YouTube and way beyond social media, and let's get out and do the work. So thank you. I'm very appreciative of Impulse Los Angeles and Brad Hammer for letting me use this beautiful home. You know what I mean? I'm gonna take these couches when I leave. And you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you guys so much for watching the premiere of Gauge 2, and we'll see you next time. Bye.